was that?
I mean, there you go. Let me
Hey
cap-
guys, how's it going? It is I, the real Randy Chavez, coming at you with John T-Plex, the most recent OMI billionaire.
There you
Uh,
go. Let
let
me.
me. So
Hey, hi. How are you?
I'm
Well,
doing okay. How
thank
about
you for
yourself?
having me.
Is there a little bit of an echo? Or are you good?
I was just shutting down the sound on YouTube just to monitor if we were live. So that's it.
Okay, gotcha. All right, we're good now.
Yep.
So you had made a post on Twitter yesterday
Yes, sir.
that you had recently acquired an additional. You already had 500 million OMI, and you acquired additional 500 million. How long did that take you to do, and what was your strategy about buying it, and like why now?
The first 500 million first took something like, I would say 3 months because it was earlier. So basically, we didn't have the volume.
And
We
that
had
was when? What
here.
year?
It was last year. It was early,
Okay.
early last year, and end of year finished.
Mhm.
I really think I started slow and steady by end of 2020, and then after that, I just added a little bit more in 21. But it takes a long time, because most of the time when you start adding liquidity, the problem is at first the price increases, but especially the volume. So when you see the volume increasing, people starting to FOMO and it starts making the price increase. But you know that, I mean, trading works with different bots. They have algorithms. So you know that they're gonna come back anyways. So you just take a break and you come back when it's time to accumulate. So I would say, you don't accumulate just like 3 months in a row. It's really like a week, and then I mean, and it's always days. So you do it for like 2, 3 days, you stop because you know it's going to retrace, and then you do it after again. So it takes kind of like 3 months. On that one, I would say since the liquidity is a bit higher, and we have more traders, more volume, more exchanges, and S-Index is getting a little bit more. I'm also on some other exchanges, but I'm trying to be cautious about also the whole spread because you know that some exchanges have a lot of arbitrage and the price is not the same because of liquidity.
Oh,
That one probably took 2 months and a half or something like that. But it's not 2 months in a row. It's like when you add up all those days, you are like literally making it like 2 months or 2 months and a half or three.
yeah.
In
So
reality,
you started.
it's like over 7, 8 months.
Okay, so the first bit you started in late 2020, and then got the rest in. Or you said early 2021.
Yeah, mid 21 or something like that. Yeah.
Okay, so you started buying when it was really really cheap at like
Yeah,
4.0.
very first part. But the problem is like liquidity was pretty bad. So each time you were buying some volume, you already had like super higher. So
Yeah.
basically, I got the price everyone got when they were buying $1,000 or $500, something like that. Because I mean, there's a moment when you buy that kind of volume, you can just, you know, um, go with 500 or 200. It would take years. So you're
Yeah.
just increasing slow and steady. And most of the time, I'm just waiting for a wall. You wait for the wall for different bots, to sell, and I just buy the wall. So sometimes I got lucky and I had like 1 million wall and was like, I'm going to buy that wall. So basically, you don't make the price move because
Yeah.
then you have a 1 million at this price, but the price is already higher anyways. But you don't care anyways. It's already cheap. So that second batch was easier than the first one. To be honest, it went very fast early this year already. December 21, and then after that, January, February, March went far faster.
Okay, so and that was this 500. Okay, so
Yeah.
you had made in a post on your Twitter a response to somebody saying that you are really betting on Marvel and Disney, but in December of 2020 we had no Marvel and Disney. Did
No,
you make the purchase just because we had DC, or did
no,
you know something? Oh, so it
no,
was just on DC Comics.
no. It was not even on DC, to be honest.
Hmm.
As I said earlier, and even many times on Twitter, I'm always looking at quality projects. So when I look at something, it is going to take a long time because I'm never going to start investing in some very small coins or tokens, which could have like small liquidity, but also are not very well known. So basically, my process is to start identifying potential projects when something starts popping up. So NFTs were starting to go. I'm not an NFT guy, but I'm smart. So I know this is the way you got to go there anyways, because I mean, even though you're not doing it, you know that you need to follow the flow. So when I identify a project, basically I look at multiple things. First, of course, website content, project, and who's behind. So I'm going to start digging into who's the CEO, what they've been before, but that's not enough. When I start to really decide to invest hard and long term, it's going more because I'm going to start digging into wallets. So that's a long process. This means I'm starting to open the whole Explorer. I'm looking at every single transaction, who invested first, who's that guy, what he did before. Did he invest in some previous IEOs? Is it a guy from Binance? Is it a former CEO of that project? Did he go onto this IEO or this ICO, or maybe moved the money before? Did he invest like in 2017, in 15? So I try to keep track of everything, and I want to understand what's the process. Who are the guys behind the big volume? What they're doing, where they didn't invest before. And that's a long process because you got to track, and sometimes they change wallets. They go to hot wallet, to cold wallet, so you can lose track of them. But most of these guys keeping the same wallet, hopefully. So when I started to look at an OMI, I started to see that some guys moved some coins from previous wallets that are invested in Zilliqa in 2016, or in Engine in 2017. So which are coins that I've invested in before, and I really went hard on them because I wanted to understand, I mean, to really be in these ones long term. But it had to be tracked first. So I had to look at, okay, you dude, I know your wallet. You've been moving this money. So you go back in a day and you look at all the movements he made. And you're like, well, it seems like you were one of the big guys from BNB before that invested into Zilliqa or Engine or other coins. And so finally your wallet, I was able to track you and see that you use some Ether to buy, and then go for Bitcoin, and then after that buy some OMI. So it's a very long process. The last time I did that, it took me like 7 months, and it was in Mix Marvel. So I don't know if you mix, but it was like early stage when I looked at it. Like we're literally talking about 19, and started to explore everything and say, what are you doing? Okay, your project is solid, your team is solid, what you're doing is nice, but I want to know who you are, what you're doing, because by doing it, you identify also wallets who've been like literally selling on people, and I don't want to invest in a project that is going to have CEOs or even members selling on me. So that's not even. So that's how I started to invest in OMI. Then I started to see, of course, the DC coming around. Not that I'm a fan, but it got my attention. I'm not gonna say Batman had my attention because I'm not a huge fan of the Batman, except when he's. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of DC. I love old Batmans. I'm a Michael Keaton guy. I mean, the real Batman is Michael Keaton. The real Joker is Jack Nicholson. Not saying the other ones are not good, but I'm saying I'm a classic guy. I'm 37 years old. I like my classics. It's like Spider-Man. It's Tobey Maguire. So, and I know I'm not gonna have all the favor here, and a lot of people be like, "You, that's gross," But the Batman, the way they started to show it, really got my attention. It was not showing just the Batman; it was like the whole showroom. The way they had that showroom, and the way you were able to put your collectible, into a situation with AR. That's where I was like, okay, that's interesting. I don't understand much about NFTs. I mean, I really didn't understand much at this moment. I was like, okay, you guys have the way, and that's really how it got my attention.
Okay,
Then,
so it wasn't just any one thing. It was all the things added up together.
yeah. It's always a lot when I invest. I mean, when you're paying that kind of money, you can't really, bet on something just because there's the Batman or the best app, for collectibles and stuff like that. I mean, we're not playing the same game. So there's a moment you need to know also if the guy's not going to dump on your face. It's important.
That's a fair point. You had also said that some of your strategy was buying into other walls, but also buy in with sell orders as well. Can you go into a little bit about that?
Yeah, it's market making. Don't do this at home. You need to know. You need to know how you do it. The principle. I mean, how it works is pretty easy. You have your whole balance available, and you put different sell walls bigger than your buy orders at a moment, and so you are going to sell. So basically, you're going to fill yourself by yourself. So with your own money, you put a sell wall at a certain price, which is going to start playing mean bear. So the strategy by playing mean bear is the same when you play mean bull. It's putting a wall there that nobody is going to be able to take. So basically, people are going to start buying higher. They don't have choice. They want to be filled lower. Let's say you have a 0.0024, but you put a 25. You see you have a 10 million wall. People coming over are going to see that wall. They are going to buy higher because they know they're never going to get filled at this 24 something. You do the same thing when you sell. When you put your wall lower, of course you're going to play mean bear, and so people are going to be like, okay, I got no choice. This wall is probably being super resistant, so I need to sell a little bit lower or sell higher. So that's how it's going to work. So basically, you have orders, and then after that, you sell. And when you sell, you calculate the amount you're going to sell. And it's going to make the price based on the order book go down, and you put your big walls down there. And that with the liquidity, and since they have leverage on SNX, there's liquidation coming. Sorry for liquidating you if it happened, but not sorry too. But it hits, and you have liquidations hitting too. So basically, your walls down there are getting filled lower. So that's how you do it.
Have you ever gotten in a scenario where, like, I'm going to put up this wall so that people sell lower so I can buy lower, and then somebody just buys your wall?
Oh, it happened. It happened. It happened. Oh, yeah, it happened. Because I've been talking about them. When we started to rise, when was the rally? Last year? At a moment,
a few of them.
I was finishing my accumulation, and so I also have a community. And so, of course, we trade, I give signals and stuff. And so we educate people about like how accumulating. So the point is that sometimes my guys also were buying. And so some guys know my strategy also. So they saw the wall, but they didn't know it was me. And so they were just like, oh, that's an opportunity. And that guy wanted to buy like literally straight 5 million or something like that. And so it was like, it's my opportunity. I literally have a 5 million wall. Let's buy, and that's how it happened. So, but now I'm being cautious, and I'm always telling my guys like, that's me. You do not touch it. I'm making it down, so do not touch it, please. So, but it's long. It's long accumulating that kind of point, especially that we're very early stage. I mean, there's a moment. There's always a certain time that you want to allocate to accumulate, but also to let the project go, mature, which is very important. You got to understand that the more whales coming into a project, the more liquidity arrives, and the more liquidity pool starts being on. So basically, that it triggers a rally. For example, when we started to accumulate mix, we knew at a certain time it would start increasing the liquidity pool, and it would trigger that rally. We just knew data was there. We knew where were the targets, but we also knew it would trigger everything. So basically what happened is just like, the more you accumulate and the more you have liquidity, the more it's going to start to trigger, and the faster. So you got to go fast, of course, because otherwise, you miss your train. Yeah. So that's why I prefer to start early. And I'm glad I started last year and even a little bit before. I'm glad I added this year. I don't really care about the price, honestly, right now. I'm kind of like Michael Saylor when he's buying Bitcoin, when he doesn't really care about the price. Yeah. When I always say, when and that's Agreed. It. So you just wait. And that's the problem with crypto. I'm from stocks and Forex. I was working Wall Street for a few years. I'm a Series A trader. And so you learn about patience. You're never going to make money just like in a month. But that's the problem with crypto. Crypto gives you this illusion that you are, going to be rich super quick. And that's a problem because people join community. They're starting to see a project. And that's why I'm always transparent about my acquisitions or my trades. I always post my reports. You're always going to see how much I make or how much I lose or when I'm buying something. But I always tell people, careful, I'm buying right now. It doesn't mean it's going to run now. It's just, to me, it's the right moment for my liquidity. I have liquidity available. It's the right moment to me to say I'm going to lock it. That's it. That my liquidity now is going to be locked. It's over. I'm not going to touch that for a while. So crypto gives you this illusion by joining communities, by following some people and influencers, that is going to happen just like that, just in a day, and which is wrong. I know crypto goes fast. I know we have also a lot of volatility, but these coins need also to have maturity. They need to find their proper utility, which is very important. And even though it's amazing what I say with OMI and especially VeVe, the collectibles and all the new partnerships. I mean, what they did with Disney and Marvel is absolutely fantastic. And that's why I really decided at this moment to be like, okay, I'm gonna wait and start accumulating properly, because it's strong. Because there's one thing I know as an investor in Disney, is that when Disney goes somewhere, you can be sure that they want the money. They want it. So they know what they're doing. These guys are not going into something just like that. So I was like, well, okay, I guess I gotta go now. I had my go, and it was like, it was my trigger. It was my trigger. So that's how it is.
Uh, so, so a couple things I want to go over that you mentioned. One
Yeah.
is that you worked on Wall Street, and so you had made the bulk of your money. Was it on Wall Street, or was it your first dip into crypto that you
Yeah.
really made the bulk of it?
No, I think it's been global. First part, yeah. I mean, investments before, had a couple of companies before, worked in different industries, always in finance, strategies. Because we started pretty fast, but introduce myself. So as I said, I'm John. I'm 37, and so I studied at Manchester University. I was born in France, hence the accent sometimes. And so went to university in Manchester, studied data analysis in finance and also behavior in finance. So started to have different companies in that. And then yeah, when I started trading, it was like already 11 years ago, something like that. Started to take it very seriously because I sold a house. I had a house and then some apartments, and then had some inheritance. So I was like, well, yeah, I'm like gonna see how it goes. Of course, made the mistakes that a lot of people making. Of course, I mean that happens. Got screwed in 2007 and 8.
Yeah.
Of course, but could have been worse. And then you get back to it. And so yeah, joined JP a few years ago when I was in Wall Street. So I started to work on many stuff. So made a part of the money there. Not gonna lie, I'm a mid long term. So for example, I'm in Disney, of course. I mean, the question is asked. I mean, I invested in Disney pretty early, and still now I'm investing, and still now I'm going to have my new batch, and I have my batch in 2020 in March. It's where you build your money. Was already also having companies. Sold one of my company, which was for a good amount, and then after that, yeah, I got into crypto. I didn't get into crypto, early. I got into crypto. It was the end of 16, mid 16.
Okay. All right.
So
So you got that run up in 17, and then you experienced that horrendous downfall in 18, and you've experienced this is your second run up and second.
yeah,
Okay.
correct. 'Cause, I've when I got into crypto, that's one of my clients who told me, hey, he was supposed to pay me, and it was like, hey, do you mind if eventually I'm paying you in Bitcoin? I heard about it, learned a little bit about it, but that's it. So it was like, well, why not anyways? And I think it was like, I mean, it was nothing because he owed me something like 12K or something like that. So I was like, well, yeah, I mean, pay me in Bitcoin, it's gonna be fine. I'm not gonna touch that. And so I started to look into it and started to look at altcoins and all that stuff. And so my first investment was, my first big investment was in Neo. Had some
Oh,
cash. I had some cash, and I put 100K. I put 100K in Neo, which was at $5. Was 20,000 Neo.
okay.
And I'm a data guy, so I don't trade like people trade, having all their indicators on their charts or looking at charts every day. I work on real deep data, algorithms. I have numbers, and I want to understand those numbers. You're never going to see my chart with having all those indicators and a lot of noise or indicators telling you to sell or buy. No. I'm doing only data. So I was looking at everything, and I knew something was brewing anyways in 17, early 17, and we dropped again. And I decided to go for another batch of 100K Neo, and then I start to spread on different other coins. Some some ICOs start to pop up. I invest into Zilliqa, Engine, and some other coins, and then I got lucky to get into Tronics, which was like literally almost sub zero anyways. It was 0.0009. So it was like free, and so it happened. I mean, it happened. But the money I made during the bull market is nothing compared to the bear, because
Accumulation.
from Wall Street will only teach you something. Is like, I mean, there's no bear and bull, but bear market is always fun and it's always better than the bull because it's
Yeah.
easy to dump. So I made far more money shorting because the bull market had no leverage. You got to understand, 17 will have no leverage. It only starts early 18. So and maybe BitMEX starts by end of 17 or something like that. But that's where I really start being like, well, I love this shit. I'm going to seriously go short on Bitcoin and went short on Ether and some other stuff, and especially XRP, which was the easiest coin to short because
Yeah.
I mean, it's XRP, so I mean, that's what it is, and the company sells and stuff. So, and that's where I really made the more money. And after that, what was complicated to me, to be honest, even if you're looking at data, the most complicated thing was to really get back to the bull, understand that we're back to a bull. So looking at data, so I could start accumulating again those coins on time, because I was literally feeling like I was a perma bear at a moment, because I mean the more you short and the more you make money, there's a moment your mind is totally out, and you keep shorting and stuff, and so you got to reevaluate the situation. And I didn't want to miss. So I was like, okay, I need to also look at those altcoins and see what's possible. And so that's where I started to accumulate the coins. I've looked at also in 16, 17, in 18, 19 also. And slow and steady, I got into ISO, NFT and stuff. I didn't invest into DeFi stuff. To me, it's just crap. It's just another, it's the new ICO stuff, like IEOs and stuff. But yeah, NFT, I was like, wow. It's going to be complicated at the moment. But I'm an art guy. I like physical art. I buy frames. I buy sculptures. I'm an Olinsky guy. So, I have those huge bears, the Mickey or the bear you have in bronze from Olinsky. Yeah. So I love that. So when I saw the first, like for example, that, yep, I see it now. So you know what I mean? I'm a North guy. So when I saw NFTs and stuff coming up, I was like, whoa, settle down. I'm not going to start buying some collectibles, virtual things that I am not going to have here, even though we're making some amazing digital frames now, and you can change the content inside and see that it's kind of like a real one, And so I was like, well, John, anyways, even if you don't like it and you're not going to buy any digital whatever goods, think about like where the money goes. And so was digging again the same way I did it. And so that's how I got into OMI.
So I understand being a buy and hold guy. I'm the same way. But in hindsight, and you might have seen it as well, OMI has touched over the last year 0.008 like 4 times. Around the third or fourth time, you didn't have any inclination to like, maybe I should sell up here because we could never break up past here and we don't have any crazy exchanges yet. You wouldn't trade? You didn't have any?
No, I was trading major coins. I was trading liquidity. When I invest into something, I just use my day trading or monthly trading, whatever, to get the profits and start investing in some other stuff that I don't even touch, because it's the strategy. Most of the people, they don't really understand the whole cycle of the market. And so they believe, and since a lot of people came over after the bear market, so of course they still have that very bear PTSD, because it's a PTSD, I mean, people, they see red, they just, it dumps 0.210K, I mean, it works. Bitcoin at 40K, we're going to 26. So it's always the same thing. The point is market cycles, especially after 2 years of a bear, always extend to a 4, 5, 6 years. So why, when you can get that kind of price, and you've seen what happened in 17, and we didn't have leverage, and liquidity is more. We went for a almost $900 billion market cap. Now we are a 2 trillion plus. All right, it's not the same game anymore. We have institutions. We have now the whales. They don't even have any power on the market. You can see it. Before whales, they wanted to make Bitcoin drop just to have more volatility. I mean, we can see it. Some whales I know, they tried to make it go down the same way they were doing it for fun in 18 or 19. They can't do it anymore. It's just a part. They just sell on Innos, like, and there's nothing happening. Before, you were selling that volume, you were just making it drop like $500 or something like that. Now you just make it drop like $50. So that's the point. So selling, even when we went up there, or even when we did, I do believe that with that low liquidity, and it's increasing more and more, and especially when guys like me, and I know someone who's going to soon invest the same amount, we're having liquidity pools. So basically it increases and it makes exchanges trust the project. So I wouldn't be surprised, and you're going to hear it first here, and I was not wrong when it came to Mix Marvel, but it would be on Bybit within the next 3 months. I mean, I'm just saying.
So how big is Bybit? I haven't used it.
Huge. I mean, leverage wise, and I mean the volume wise now, it's became probably even bigger than Bitfinex, which was the biggest one.
Yeah.
So I think now in leverage, I mean, even globally, you have Binance with the volume. I'm talking about volume, not the value. And you got BitMEX, and then I think you have Bybit, and probably
So
just behind FTM or FTX or something like that.
So do you think? I know Comey had said, or Reese had said, they have about 4 to 5 exchanges that they plan to roll out within the next year. Do you think that one is planned, or do you think there will be other exchanges that will just renegade lists? They're just going to list without the approval, like Ascendex did. I think they did that, or I think it was Gate.io. They listed without.
Yeah, and you have that other one. I think the old name was Mercanto or something like that, or I don't remember. There's one now. There's another one. Let me check, but there's another one I see, which is growing up pretty fast too, which is very interesting. Let me see.
The one that we currently have, or one that we don't have yet?
Yeah.
Like OKEX?
No. Okay, no. So no, I'm no. Forget. Sorry. It was mixed. It was mixed. But I know why I'm saying this, because I think they're gonna list it very soon. Let me give you the name, but I think they're gonna list it very, very, very soon. Nope, that's not there. Well, it's going to come back, but I do not remember. It was Mercanto something, but they rebranded the whole thing, and they started to have some big values, and especially indexing into USDT. But I need to remember which one. But now Bybit got listed, for Mix. So I wouldn't be surprised it happens anyways, because I know what Bybit is looking for right now.
And you said in 3 months, so probably in Q2. If not Q2, definitely Q3.
Yeah. Honestly, I think Q2 is done. Honestly, I mean, for Mix, when I heard, and I was already like huge, but not as huge as OMI, but I was like probably 200 million Mix or something like that, and I was literally talking about it after that on nonstop, and people were just like, dude, you're talking about something which is like literally 500 followers right now, and it's like it's listed on Ascendex and on Gate, and there's no liquidity. I'm just like, dude, I've read everything about that. I'm telling you, there's a big wallet that moved 5 months ago. That's Justin Sun wallet. All right. That guy has the amount now. So I'm telling you, where Justin Sun goes, I go. Where Binance dudes go, I go. Because these guys, I mean, follow the money. It's about following the money. It's not about like, thinking, oh yeah, it's a small project or blah, blah, blah. Yes, some small projects are never going to make it. I mean, we literally have almost 1,900 cryptos right now on the market. Of course, some coins not going to make it. But when you start looking at, I mean, I'm sorry, but if some guys would say, even if OMI right now and VeVe is not that big yet, it's not crazy big, and we got only a few exchanges, I mean, can you just put that in your mind that maybe Disney, Marvel in a project like that, when they are so strict and control their image so badly, do you really think they would take a risk? And it's just common sense. Sometimes, okay, it's going to take time. Okay, fair. Maybe I'm not going to sell before 2 years, but I don't care. I don't care, because I didn't buy it for selling now. I'm making my money by trading. This is why I'm always telling people, don't just diversify and use your profits to accumulate the coin you like the most, but just don't go all in, because you might be ending up into waiting for too long. Because I mean, I got the data, I got it. I mean, there's no problem, and I know it's gonna hit. I was there before, I'm there today, and I'll be there tomorrow, and I know how it's gonna play. But it's going to take time. So if you are not very patient and you're not trading something else, or if your strategy is just to buy, hold, not being a trader and just shield the coin, then it's fine. But if you're expecting to have a little return, then I would say OMI is not the coin you want to invest in all in right now. You want to more trade some other coins, have more liquidity so you can continue to add with your profits, which is the best strategy. And especially now that it's cheap, and it might be a little bit cheaper soon, like a little bit tiny, because I feel like we probably rigged the game by having the whole investment now. We're supposed to dip a little bit more, but like, no. But I mean, after that, it's just common sense. I would look at people right now on the video, be like, dude, Disney, Marvel.
So I'll make you be bullish for a second, and then I'll make you be a little. I'll have you argue a little bit of a not moon boy, almost bearish side. So the bull side that I'm going to have you argue that I'm going to be a little bit bearish is if you go and say like Marvel and Disney, there's really not a big risk for them to do this because it is not them that's putting out the NFTs, it's another company. So if it fails, if that new line item happens to not generate any money on their next Q2 or Q3 earnings call, whatever it is, they could just say, oh, that wasn't us that failed, that was this company that failed. So it does kind of take some of the risk out of it, even though it's obviously been wildly successful. What is your opinion on if VeVe does, let's say, it explode? I mean, Disney doesn't have that risk. They could just go and say it wasn't us. So they're just kind of like devil's advocate there.
Now, Disney can't for one reason is they control their branding, so they need to work on an exit plan. So they're not going to say, yeah, it's not us, it's a company or whatever, because their brand is there. The moment you have a logo of whatever, or you've been starting to sell something, NFTs or even products, they already have royalties for that. So it's important. And I think it's 5% or something like that, and since they might be a little bit deeper and more in the project, but I don't know more right now. I'm trying to dig, but I still didn't have my answers. What's important to understand is Disney always controls everything. They are total control freaks. VeVe wouldn't have been able to put one damn NFT, even though it was with another company, without the approval of Disney and controlling every single aspect of the damn NFT. Like, they control everything. For having worked with them for years, I am literally telling you that it wouldn't have been out already. You wouldn't have had the Marvels or even Mickey and Walt statues and stuff like that. It's not even happening. Disney controls, and especially when Walt and Mickey are on the same NFT. I mean, it's not like one on another. No. You got both. That means Disney's there, and they control everything. Don't even believe they released something without having the full approval. And they probably have they are paying. They're real pain. So that means the company right now, before they publish something or they drop a new NFT, they're probably waiting for Disney to answer like 3, 4, 5 weeks, and they're probably sending emails all the time, be like, okay, guys, normally the drop is planned on the 26th of March or is planned on the 1st of June, or right now, probably sure they plan their next drop for like 3 months ahead or something like that, because Disney just controls everything. I can literally tell you I'm not even worried about that. So they wouldn't
even Alex had said that they weren't planning on doing a Valentine's Day drop, but Disney asked them like, hey, can you do a Valentine's Day drop for us? And like, guess we can. So you're right.
There you go. Disney, the last time Disney was investing into a project, some people who were there before probably remember Dragon Chain. Dragon Chain was only Disney incubator. So basically Disney was not in yet, and the company communicated that Disney was behind and stuff, which is not wrong technically, because this is the Disney incubator. So that means you're getting money from Disney to make this project successful. But when Disney but they didn't have the rights to put even a Disney logo, even for the incubator. They had the right only to put incubator, Disney just saw it was not good, so they just got out. And then Dragon Chain just freaking plummeted because everyone knew that they were out of the incubator. Disney controls everything. You can't put their name, you can't put their brand, the logo, whatever. And even more right now, since I saw the statue when they released the Mickey Mouse and Walt, I'm just like, dude, you don't know how far they went now on this branding. they are so deep. Disney is now probably, I wouldn't even be surprised to hear that right now they even have like a sub company, working for it for now. So as you said, they have this company, and so they're probably waiting to see how it really, really goes. And if VeVe really pulls it all the way and explodes, then Disney is just going to buy this company, working for them. And then it's going to be cool. It's going to be Disney, and that's it. Disney really loves having properties. So this is just going to be their property. I'm going to be sure that one day if they really, really go, they're going to be like, no. I mean, like, we're in the board now. And they would get into the board of VeVe, and just be like, well, thank you very much for working. They did the whole job, and Disney just drops the money and be like, and goodbye. And that's how they work.
Yeah, I think that's why they have not taken the company public, is because the owners want to go and control this as best as they can for right now. So I am going to have you argue a little bit, not necessarily bearish, just an anti-moon boy cycle. You were asked yesterday if you think $1 per OMI is out of the question, and you said that no, because it would not happen right now.
Yeah.
So obviously right now, with zero burns to circulating supply, $1 would bring us at a $314 billion market cap. And I agree, not going to happen right now.
Yeah.
But I think in the next 4+ years, we definitely can get there.
Yeah.
Could you elaborate further on your take?
I mean, I've seen crazy predictions for many coins, and I like being grounded and just always putting people down. That's why most of the people be like, you're not cool. But in the end, targets hitting. So that's what matters. In 17, I saw some crazy predictions, and I also saw some very shitty predictions. Like, some people were saying, you're talking about like this price, but you're realizing the market cap's going to be that high. I'm just like, yeah, what's the matter? Because some people be like, yeah, but I mean, the market cap would be insane. I still remember for EOS, for example, when it's still trading at 45 cents and I'm calling nearly $20 plus, because data's there and there's nothing that can stop it. Or an XRP when it's still trading at 17 and we are in October 17, the swell happens in Toronto, the price goes at 29 and it goes back to 17 and the guys are totally desperate. They're desperate, but I'm just like, guys, chill. Data already shows it. It's there. We're starting the bull market. It's going to be a 320 something. I had 320 top target and stuff, went a little bit above, but that was perfect. But people were just saying, you are crazy because the market cap would be so high. And so I'm just like, dude, money comes in. You got to understand the market cap goes up because also new money gets in the market. The same way people didn't want to believe that $900 billion in 17 when we talked, when we were saying we're going to reach in 2021, $2 trillion market cap. People be like, dude, 2 trillion market cap. You understand that we were just only $900 billion. Yeah, but institutions, ETF, all those futures contracts, we had the big boys coming in, CME, CBOE, backed, that launched the whole thing. Then now we have all those ETF, BITO and all that stuff. So you're like, that's totally normal. Money comes in. You have institutions, El Salvador investing also and putting money in. And Michael Saylor, I mean, we need to evolve. We need to understand that, yeah, some price can happen. Like, I'm always laughing about their freaking 589 to the XRP community, I mean, I'm always amazed when I'm reading this and they really believe in it. It's not going to happen. It's just all about market cap. You need the money to make something happen. So is it possible that an OMI becoming leader of NFT and NFT really goes boom? And because it's new, we don't know right now if NFT is going to survive. We know it's there. We know we have a lot of products being created. This afternoon, like in a few hours, I'm going to a huge event. There's a huge outdoor event, which is based on art, but that you have your AR. So they have an app and you can have all the art in AR and have different layers and understand how it works. So you can put your art everywhere in the park. So that's freaking amazing. And so these guys have already worked on to having your own NFT into some chains. So you have a chain, necklace, and you have a chain there. And it's just a tag. You scan it. It verifies that you're the owner of the NFT, and you can have your NFT in your chain. So the rappers and stuff, when they have all those big chains. I received today. That's one of my guy working in that, and I'm probably going to invest, but for now I'm waiting to see how it works. but he showed me the whole thing, the picture. I think I have it right now, maybe, and maybe yeah, it's gonna be I'll be sending, if I send it to you, maybe you can put it on the screen. I don't know.
Yeah,
But
sure.
it's amazing, because these guys, I'm thinking about like, okay, you're doing it this way, so that means you got that NFT here in a chain that you can change, and you can change the whole game. It's not just virtual now. It's not just your wallet. You can own your own chain, and you can change the same way you're changing your background, on your phone. Let me see if I still have it and if I'm allowed to. So that's the first thing I'm
Sure.
gonna ask. Otherwise, yeah, I need to check. I'll be sending it, and you can post it when I have it. But it's pretty amazing. It's a screen inside, and so basically you just scan it and you change it. It verifies your because it's linked to your wallet. So, and your digital collectibles are in. So you just scan it by your QR, ask for the transaction to confirm that you're the owner, and boom, you have it on your whole chain. So
That's
imagine
so cool.
10
I
years from now, you get a Justin Bieber, whatever, having the chain like they were in Orlando Monday for concert, and you got NFTs or branding, just the branding. Imagine how powerful it is. So I think it has a future, not for everyone. Some kind of generation is probably lagging. I still lag. I mean, I understand the whole concept, but I lag more in a way that I can buy for now. I just can't do it.
That's so interesting because and I agree where you say that Disney doesn't lose money. Disney doesn't do things that they know aren't going to be lucrative. And having not just Mickey and Walt in separate ones on the same NFT, you know, whether you believe in VeVe or NFTs, you should believe in the company of Disney. And having that NFT will because Disney people are crazy, and there's so few Disney people in here right now compared to what will be.
Yeah,
I think that it's a pretty safe bet for the Walt partner session.
it's an interesting part here. And there's not a lot of Disney people yet, because I know that very Disney community, how they go crazy and when they get to something. So again, it's a point that I know Disney is really controlling the company and is really in, because it's been a while we would have seen already the whole Disney community coming over VeVe and really starting to talk about it, and Instagram and Facebook and stuff. And it's still very slow. But I really do believe Disney, when they're going to say, okay, now we have a plan. I don't know what's their plan, but I'm a strategy and marketing guy. So if I would be Disney right now, if I were to be Disney, I would think to just first keep it simple with VeVe, waiting to see how it just takes, how it just wants to take off. Chill, see how the market reacts, starts looking at, okay, what kind of community in Disney we can start talking to see how it takes to. So that's important. And I'll be starting to eventually introduce it for the future. I already see how you can use your collectibles in a park like Disney World or Disneyland California or Disney, not Disneyland Paris. They just like, I mean, not ready yet, but Walt Disney World.
I was there in Disney in Paris 2019.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah. Okay. So that's very recent. It's better now, but it was not that good, But I wouldn't be surprised that they can really push VeVe's and NFTs after that in the parks. You can have it in your watch, Apple Watch and stuff like that. You can have your background right now. Why not? In your watch, you can choose Mickey or Minnie. You can choose your NFT there. And that would be exclusively in the parks, for example. They have the wristband right now, the Magic Band, but they're changing it. They changed everything for the iWatch. They still have, of course, the Magic Band, but they have the iWatch. Disney is always thinking for the future. They're always ahead of everything. They think 15 to 20 years ahead. So from there, you got already multiple purposes for those NFTs. They can literally use this for a show. You can eventually have some stuff you buy in different shops for a show. They like the lightnings and they like the lightings and stuff, all those gifts you can have and buy all this stuff. I mean, you can find a lot of crap also in parks, but you can literally be like in a close community that is having, as I said, that kind of chain, and it starts, giving you a specific NFT during a show, because they can literally do that. They have the technology anyways to send to everyone having a chain a specific gift, so a specific NFT. They're giving the magnets right now to the pass holders. Your pass holder here, you have every season a magnet. you don't have to give a magnet anymore. Why wouldn't you just gather the NFT community and be like, hey, each season or each month, we're going to have a specific NFT. And so you're going to receive it, come claim it. So you make people come to the parks. Disney always thinks about having their people coming in the parks or on Disney Plus or on their other platforms. They want people to come over. They don't like giving, remotely. So right now they're giving those NFTs remotely through VeVe app. But I wouldn't be, surprised if one day they start working remotely with VeVe and starting to say, okay, now we're going to start for all the people having the app in the parks at this moment, they're going to receive a specific reward. And
so many people download that app. That's so many people so quickly.
Of course.
Hundreds of thousands.
It's Disney. Disney is probably the only company able to really make you do whatever they want. We're just dogs for Disney. They just whistle and we come, No, but that's how it works. I mean, look at how it went crazy when they released the first Disney, on VeVe. It went totally nuts,
Yeah. So do you think for D23, like in 5 months, Disney will, so you think that's when Disney will advertise VeVe?
I maybe not advertise, but probably have some signs. Heard I will be there, so I'll be telling you. I'm going to cover the event, so
I might do it also.
Okay, so I see there, of course.
Yeah, that'd be great.
I think they're probably not advertising the name, but getting into, showing, something in front. I mean, they're good. They're just good. I've worked with them for 3 years on some contracts. Not 3 years in a row, but for 3 years. And I've seen some stuff in Imagineering that is just insane. I've invested in Disney for so long. My goal is to be in the board, but it just costs a little bit.
Oh wow.
I want to be in the board, but it costs a lot. I'm not there yet. I mean, I'm gonna have to work a little bit more.
So that is something,
probably another some million of dollars, So
I did advertise on Facebook what I would ask, and as far as what you would do with the funds that you would get from OMI and other investments. Now, what is your price target where you are going to sell, or at least around? I know you probably wouldn't say exactly when. And what would you do with those funds? So the price target, and then what you do with the proceeds.
Price target. It really, as I said, I work on data, and you never know. Where it's going to be your primary data, but you never know if we're not going to extend. Had multiple data in 17. So the top data hits. Okay, but I had also intermediate where I started to sell. So I have some intermediate here, but you never know if the whole market is crazy. It's crypto. It's the Wild West here. It's the freaking jungle. You think you're gonna get that target, and out of the freaking blue, it's just gonna go crazy. And OMI right now could do. The moment it would get listed into some very important exchanges, and especially that I know will get. I can tell you, not that it's a rumor or something like that, because it's not, and nothing's been said. But by my experience, I can tell you we're gonna have Binance. I can literally tell you it's 100% certainty, because I know some wallets. I don't know if I 100% of those wallets, but I know some wallets holding, which are from Matic and Polygon. Polygon now, Binance IO. So I know some big guys from Binance out there. So some wallets I still need to dig, and I couldn't identify them, but some wallets were from also some BNB investors. There's no way. If they're already in anyways. So it's what I do. So investing, I invest and I investigate. I want to investigate and know, okay, who are you? Before talking about targets, I want to know, who are you? Where you come from? Where's your wallet from? Who you sleep with? Who's your friend? Who's the exchange you listed first? No, but it's important. It's kind of like an investigation. It's kind of like being a PI, because you don't want to invest into something that, it's probably going to go far more, Yeah. So data-wise right now, I got a 5-6 cents easy peasy. That one is not even something we talk about. And it's just it's done.
Next year, 5 or 6 cents.
It's the problem with crypto.
You're not sure.
It's the problem. In 17, the guys, I was giving them targets. I was giving my targets to NEO or EOS or everything. You give targets, and it's just like, yeah, it's going to be probably February, March. It happens in October, November. You don't know. I could tell you 5 cents. It would happen end of year. It could happen next year, or it could happen in July. I'd be like, sorry, but I can't tell you this because you never control. Once you got to understand, when we accumulate that kind of volume, it's all about liquidity pools. Once liquidity pools are set, you got to know that, and that's why I moved into a liquidity pool. What I bought there, so I have 500 million OMI in a liquidity pool, 500 million OMI in a cold wallet. It's important to understand that liquidity pool, we have a job. We have to work on raising it. So basically, all those investors accumulating big volume, once we decide we're done, we're going on a rally because money is ready, because the whole market's ready, and so everything has to go. And we know we're going to be listed, for example, you increase that liquidity pool at different price in your order book. So basically, you're going to be like, that price, we're never going below anymore. And then we decide that people buy, and we're like, okay, that is going to be the support. We're not moving anymore. That's over. We're not going below. So we can decide, and I've seen that fall before. When we decide to have that first shot, most of the time, a lot of people be like, oh, it's still going to retrace. It's still going to do that. You're like, oh, no, it's not going to happen. It's over. We put a liquidity pool here, and goodbye. You're never going to buy below whatever the price. You could have a shot retesting 1 cent right now, coming back to, let's say 0.006 or something like that, and saying, nope, goodbye. We're not going below. And that's over. Like, I mean, look at Zilliqa. Zilliqa was the same thing we did. I had liquidity pools there. I'm an investor since the very first day of the ICO, and it was all about patience. And it's like the whole thing went just off. But the moment you break a certain level, you got to understand that it's game over. It's especially in the bull market. When we start that very, very final big, I would say, structure, the wave, it just goes crazy. So that's how it works. But 5 cents, yeah. I mean, like, I already officially tell you this. Yeah, I've talked about that many times also. I mean, yeah, of course. 5 cents.
So you would sell on the way up there, or you selling?
I don't know yet.
Okay.
It takes time. It depends on exchanges. You know, I don't mind. And I've done this for Zilliqa. I could have sold. You know, when I bought Zilliqa before, it was at the ICO price. It went down. Okay, and it went up on a bull market in 17. All right. So we have 17. The whole market goes up, but I do decide to not sell. I don't care. I want the bear market, and we have the whole bear market, and I'm just like, I have my volume. I have what I wanted to buy. I have the volume I wanted to buy in OMI, and I know we're never, ever going to go back to this price. Once, you know, it drops even in a bear market, you know, you're never going to go to that price anymore. So it means that you're always going to be in profits. It's forever.
Yeah.
So I don't mind. Let's say we're going 5, 6 cents. I'm not even selling. I prefer to have the community enjoying their profits. Like, they have a small volume, sell your stuff, make money. Don't be a moon boy. Don't follow like the XRP community talking about some crazy targets. Just, you know, I know I take a lot on the XRP community. Like a funny story, I love trolling them all the time. I just love them. So, and you just hold. And then I just hold. I just want, like, when you have small money buying in, it's how you make them smart money. Because if you want to make a project strong, you need to form smart money. You need to teach them. It's important, because it's never going to succeed. It's never going to go as high as you can imagine if you don't teach people which have small money how to become smart money and big money, you know? Yeah. So basically it's more like, I don't mind. I'm not going to sell at 5 or 6. I don't care. I'm going to wait for new exchanges. And what? People are going to be telling me, John, you had literally $1 billion OMI at 5 cents and you didn't sell, and it's now back like at 1 cent or even a little bit below. Yeah, I don't care. It's going to be 15 to 20 cents in 2 years. So don't care. It's all about, like, okay, just you sold, accumulate more, because you need to take those profits. So it's important. It's important. So no, I don't honestly, I don't even think I'm going to sell. It's I mean, whatever is related to Disney, most of the time I'm very, very long term. So I don't think you're going to see my wallet moving for a long while.
I've got a few, so I don't think anyone can even track which ones are mine, because they're all like 20 million and below. I think one's at like, they're all very, very low. But the the amounts that I was thinking of is I would sell very, very slowly as we get to a couple cents, just enough to live on, just enough to get a couple of things. And for the most part, like I think that the amount of money that will go into crypto in general, where Bitcoin and Ethereum will be probably over $10 trillion market cap each in the next decade. Well, if OMI can get to even 1/10 of that, if we're $9 trillion behind at a $1 trillion or even $9.5 trillion behind $500 billion market cap, and if we don't burn any OMI from the circulating supply, which obviously we're going to burn a lot later this year, that's still over $1.
Oh yeah,
If we do burn that, that's if we get down to 250, $500 billion market cap, that's $2. So
of course.
that's just
It's Ether. I would be very cautious. Having Bitcoin with a very high market cap, I got no problem seeing it. Ether, it's been a mess for a few years. They don't agree on a lot of things. They're testing a lot. They have issues releasing and delivering. Problem to me, and that's why it didn't really take off like it was supposed to take off.
Yeah, they delayed it to Q3 now. The
might be something else. Maybe the market's going to start working on different other assets. I really do believe, since I'm a stock guy, we're not going to get regulations right now. This is not even happening. They're pretending we're going to have regulations, but they already make money. Believe me, governments are literally in Bitcoin, Ether, Litecoin, and everything, and they already make money. Like the SEC with XRP, they're already loading up and they're getting ready for it. Regulations, no, because we're talking about worldwide. It's not just the US regulating. We're talking, that there's not only the US in the world. We have Europe, we have different other countries. So it's important to understand this part that each have a different market, and it's pretty hard to have kind of a regulation, a fixed regulation, which would be the same for everyone. So that's why I don't really believe that. I do believe we're going to have a little bit more control on the price, of course, because of the ETF and the big guys. If you look at what happens to Bitcoin now during the weekend when it didn't happen before, it shows that we can break some levels because of this big money opening on Sunday, and so they have different futures contracts. So of course they have liquidity pools there, which are not allowing the price to go up or down in between when they close that open. And so now, before we were not talking about gaps, now we're talking about gaps. We have Bitcoin futures gaps and all that stuff. We have e-mini contracts. We have many things. I really do believe that crypto is going to have kind of a turn in a few years where we're going to start having more bundles. And that's where and why I'm investing in that kind of company like OMI or Mixed Marvel or other NFTs, Metverse companies, because I do believe in bundles. I do believe that in a few years, we're not talking about just a coin or a token. We're talking about like kind of the US 30, kind of NAS 100. It's going to be a bundle like esports, multiple companies, into one contract. And I really do believe we're going to start trading those contracts and starting having an NFT contract, a Metaverse contract, a gaming contract, and then a whole bundle into the Metaverse gaming and, NFT contract. So that's how those projects are going to get the money. I don't believe we can make those projects going up with the money we have right now at $2 trillion, a little bit less today, but $2 trillion when the main the smart money is only still on Bitcoin. We can see altcoins, they don't want to move. Nobody cares about altcoins so far. We're accumulating for the next years. Accumulation is the way right now because everyone's is literally trading Bitcoin. We want to trade Bitcoin, a little bit of Ether sometimes. We still have some shady stuff about USDT. Tether is kind of like very shady. But we can see accumulation going on into major projects. I was naming Mixed Marvel, but VeVe, of course. Zilliqa Engine, which is very important, which are forming, and unfortunately, even Axie Infinity, unfortunately, they got the hack, but they were really good. Or Veracity, VRA, which is absolutely doing a crazy job. They are absolutely fantastic. And I'm glad I invested into the early days, because I really do believe crypto is going to evolve to make those coins and tokens go up for real into bundles. First, we're going to bundle a crypto NFT, a crypto gaming, and when investors going to, because you need to, smart money, we're being cautious. I'm always cautious when I invest. I don't want to put too much or whatever.
Yeah.
I need risk management. But if you give me a bundle, a futures bundle, you tell me, hey, John, we got a futures bundle here. We even have an ETF, or even like we just have a stock or something like that, whatever. We can literally make you buy into this bundle X shares, and it includes those companies, those projects. What do you think is going to happen? This bundle and the contract goes up. The money in this bundle is for the companies, so the token's going up. That's how it works anyways for the US 30. The 30 biggest companies in the US are tied to the US 30. When the US 30 goes up, those 30 companies go up. When it goes down, and of course they go down. So, and I do really believe it's going to be the exact same thing for crypto in the future. We're going to have this, when you want to attract smart money right now, even though I was talking to some friends, which are very big investors, and some are like very, bigger than me. And I'm talking about like, yeah, I made this investment. It's still hard for them to think about it and being like, well, no, they want something. They would literally invest into a bundle. I would tell them, hey, there's a bundle created now on futures. Do you remember I talked about this company, this company, this company? If you get in, it's the bundle, you're good. So that makes the company go up, you know? And so that's how it works. And I really do believe this is what's going to happen for the future of crypto. Gemini has started to trade those very security tokens. I know Kraken is getting ready for a new platform, getting some security tokens too at bundles. So I really do believe there's some crazy stuff coming around. So
me too. I know you have to go. I do have 2 more things for you. Is that okay?
Yep, it's fine. We can have 30 minutes. We're fine.
Yes. Okay, cool.
Yeah, we're good.
So one thing is going to be about Disney. Is there any worry that they have almost like majority control, like most of the app is Disney drops between Disney and Marvel? Do you worry about that? And do you worry if Disney were to buy VeVe? Do you think that would be not good for the coin? And why are your thoughts on those?
Disney taking over. I mean,
I don't think they'll take over now, but I just want your opinion.
that's what I was saying just earlier. If it goes well, anyways, right now they're working with sub companies, so different companies, so they don't get, too much exposure, I would say. But you got to understand, Disney, they control freaks. So basically, if they want to just acquire, they're never going to be 100% in control. So that means they always delegate. They don't want to do things they don't know how to do it or whatever, or it would cost a little bit too much, but they could acquire it. So they would be like, yeah, let's go. And I wouldn't even be surprised. Yeah, in a few years, it was like VeVe would say, yeah, we've been acquired by the Disney company. It doesn't mean it's 100%. It's not anymore VeVe or something like that. It just means they took control of a 51 or whatever percentage, or they may be in the board. If it continues this way, and if it really sells, and if they start to spread the word and they start sharing in a community, as I said, Disney community is not in yet. We would know it already. Believe me, if the Disney community was in, we would know it. They are very crazy freaks. When they're in, But I wouldn't be surprised Disney really gets his hand on it and be like, yeah, we acquired 30 or 25% of the capital, or maybe more. It would just be another company, in the world they just acquired. And it doesn't mean they don't have, they have full control. They just.
What do you think they do with the coin?
Still, Disney most of the time to just acquire something just to say it's ours.
And you think they'd keep the token?
Yeah, of course. Disney acquires some stuff. Sometimes it's just to say they have it because it's good for the brand. Think Disney. Just try to think how Disney always looks at different things. Basically, they acquire a company that has nothing to do with them. Sometimes it really has nothing to do, but it's good for the brand. The moment it's good for their brand, they don't care. They just put the money and they just acquire because it's good. It's like they don't even have to brag, because how they know this company they acquired is going to make money? It's easy, because this company was already doing well, but now when this company is going to release something, they have a Disney logo there. Ta-da! The moment you get that Disney logo there, it's a Disney company. It's a whatever Disney company. You can be the best company in the world and do well. The moment you got that name, You're just like, and there you go. The moment VeVe started to really, and that's where I knew it was serious, is when they started to drop all those different collectibles, and then they really used the logo, and I was like, oh shit, they serious. Okay, these guys are not playing around. These guys are freaking serious, because I know how it works to have the logo and to being able to really, really advertise online and sell, because especially sell, it's more important. You know, you're like, okay, Disney has already an eye on it. It doesn't mean Disney is going to acquire, but if VeVe, let's say in 5-10 years, probably 5, starts to become really mainstream. NFT is everywhere. The metaverse starting to boom. We have Meta, because Zuckerberg, we like it or not, but like, I mean, he's doing an amazing job. So that's pretty important what he does, and especially for the whole community, the whole metaverse community, it helps us to really go, mainstream. If a VeVe would literally go on mainstream and it becomes something really big, I mean, Disney wants to have his hand on it, of course, it's good for them, because what would be the reasoning behind? Disney is going to think that way. Disney is going to be like, well, it was the first app releasing that kind of collectibles. It's the first app that had a reputation and a real community there. They have a token, they're serious, they have 5 years plus, they have a good reputation. That's what matters. Be like, let's go. They're just going to be like, hey, how are you? We'll just buy. You don't have to say no anyways, because we're not asking, we're buying. That's how it works. They're going to acquire the whole thing and be like, hey, look, the best app in NFT is a Disney company app, because that's what they want. It could be something else, then they would acquire something else. Disney looks for the best. It's what profits to their brand. It's always about the branding. So I'm telling you, here.
So, do you think if they wait too long that they might not be able to do it? Because currently Vanity Fair values VeVe as a multi-billion-dollar company, probably about 4 or 5 billion. Yeah. And I don't know how much VeVe has in the war, or how much Disney has in the war chest, but Disney is about $250 billion right now, market cap valuation. So let's say even if they have 20 billion in the war chest, 10% of their market cap. Do you think they would spend that much, like in a few years, if suddenly VeVe's a $20 billion company? Do you think they'd spend their whole nut on it?
I don't think if there's something that can stop Disney. When they want something, they want it. Honestly, it would be whatever the price. Disney, they never stop. It's just, if they want it, they're just going to make it happen. They're probably having also the tokens. They're probably having more. They probably in the board already. And if there's one thing I've learned over the 3 years I've been working there, it's just that, I mean, what they want, they just get it. It's it. Nothing can stop them. Look at what they did with Pixar a few years ago, and it was like far more than expensive, and they still acquired Pixar. And look at how much they spend to have Disney Plus right now. So now
they got Fox. So something that I've been curious about is that Disney had filed for their Metaverse, and obviously we know the VeVeverse is coming out. But Disney historically is not good at making video games. They had Square Enix make the Final Fantasy thing. And if you listen to Reese's interview with Akil Patterson, he says that they are paying for the VeVeverse, as in they're not as vertically integrated as they're building it themselves. Yeah. Most likely they're having a third party build it for them. Do you think that Disney will also have a third party build their metaverse? And do you think it's the same company that is building VeVe's VeVeverse?
For having learned a bit about the metaverse Disney's working, last news was just about metaverse for the parks. They're not intending into making any real metaverse like we're seeing right now. It's really more like a, they feel everything because it's a metaverse. The name is amazing, but it's for last news we had was just all about the parks. They want to have an experience in the parks, being able, they've been working very closely, even though they work with Apple. They've been very close to Meta right now, and especially Ray-Ban with their smart glasses. So they want to see also, they're working with Oculus. So they want to bring a new experience to the parks. We can see it in ways, the way they're changing the shows. We have more AR and VR into the parks, especially AR. That's why I was saying I wouldn't be surprised they start shilling eventually for the users of VeVe. Open your app, we have a surprise for you, because they start some stuff, some hunt in the park to start finding some precious NFT and rare NFTs, there. So I wouldn't be surprised if they start introducing in the parks VeVe or something related to it. But for the metaverse, they just want it to be in the parks for now. I know they're not gonna have like a virtual world. It's really the parks that where they focus on. They have more things coming. Drones shows. I mean, we're talking about drones now, flying all over the castle and like projecting lights and different other stuff. They're even working on shows which are the drones are going to have water and stuff like that. So I'm just like, yeah, they're just crazy, and nothing can stop them. So I know they love interacting. I know it's so important for Disney to interact with their people in the parks. That, as I said, NFT is something that you can interact with. You can now we're interacting with the watch, and you can change your background and stuff. So I'm like, I wouldn't be surprised that you interact during a show and you got some specific NFTs because you own that app. So. And I'm pretty sure it's going to come very soon because they're literally talking about it. And the D23 is going to be very interesting. That's why I'm looking forward to being there because I know they're really talking about introducing some interaction in the park because they have the technologies. They have the whole towers able to just send a Bluetooth signal or when you connect it to their Wi-Fi and to notify you through the app. The Disney Genie right now can literally introduce some NFTs too. So they've been working so hard into their app and being able to interact with people. Disney Genie is, I mean, the people do want it, but in the end, they love it because that's Disney, and because they always do something which really makes it attractive. And even though you didn't want it, then you end up by wanting it anyways. And it's, I mean, Disney is probably the only company, one of the only company in the world to spend money, for a bad buzz. Or for a bad decision to just see if it's going to work. Recently, when they had the restaurant, I don't know if you went to Disney World, but at the Polynesian, you have the Ohana. The Ohana is the Polynesian Hawaii style restaurant. They just literally spent $2 million for a bad buzz to remove some items that people loved because it's free marketing. Yeah. It's free marketing. And so people were hungry. So basically, they were just saying, bring it back, so people spend time to tag Disney to bring it back. And Disney was just smart enough to just make it happen for 2 weeks. 2 weeks later, be like, yeah, okay, we heard the community. We're bringing it back. My ass, you didn't hear the community. You knew it. You were just waiting for everyone to shield the whole thing and to talk about it. And when they brought it back, the community was also talking about Disney, saying, yeah, we have power over Disney because they listen to their community. So they like kind of like the angels, they just everyone loves Disney. And so this is why right now, VeVe has like, we fought from done because if they start really kicking in and bringing more collectibles especially with the 50 years, I'm still waiting for something for the 50 years, something more official because they didn't drop something for the 50 years. And I wouldn't be surprised if it drops soon. And they probably work on it, but they need to drop something on VeVe for that. And if they really start doing it, then in that case, we know they're getting ready for something far bigger. That's for sure.
Yeah. There's even I think in October of this year, it is the 100-year anniversary of when they formed. So do you think they do something for that in October as well?
Since it's the 50 years anyways, they might eventually go for a cross event. I don't know yet how they are for VeVe, especially with the different movies they have. But, they're launching here in Disney World. They're launching the Guardians of the Galaxy, the new attraction. All right.
Yeah.
So, which is on May the 27th. I'm going on the 1st of May for the opening, got the invite this morning. I was so happy. I was like, boom, let's go. Yeah. I'm going to stream there. Just got the invite this morning. And so I was like, okay, maybe they want to work on something because we explore the initial Marvels, Spidey, Thor, and all the others. Okay, but are we going to explore kind of like the new Marvel, characters, the way they introduce them into their series? Because you can do so much after that. The moment you start exploring all those characters with Disney Plus, if they're smart, and I think they are far more than smart, and I think they're going to do it, but they're just testing the water right now. But they should explore. So Moon Knight, Mandalorian, Mandalorian, just going on a Mandalorian, just on a VeVe drop, you just kill it. You fucking kill it, you know.
This is the way.
This is the way, of course, you know. And I mean, just a Baby Yoda. You go literally for Baby Yoda on a special edition ones where you have the whole costume, or you do like whatever, or I mean, even some smart ones, some funny ones. When it's funny, when you remember when he drinks the blue drink, you know, and he just pukes it just over, you know, him.
Yeah.
It's like release that kind of thing. But even Wanda Vision and all that stuff, the more you start working on those characters, you know, the more you can nail it. You know, people love Disney anyways. If they want to introduce and go, because that's where I'm going to be very cautious, and this is where I do believe VeVe has a very big turn here, which is very important.
Yeah.
They're known now for DC, Marvel, and Disney, but the main characters. It can be very restrictive anyways, because I mean, once you've been dropping some characters, it's still the same, you know. I mean, you can explore more, changing the costume, or changing I don't know, the way they stand, or I mean, it's restricted at the moment. You're like, man, you know, you don't have a lot of opportunities. I think they need to take a turn ASAP with Disney and starting to really start dropping the other Disney franchise. Like Encanto would be an easy one. You drop Bruno, you get a buzz. You have a buzz with Bruno. We don't talk about Bruno, so we don't talk about Encanto. No.
Such a good movie.
Yeah, of course. And you drop kind of a 7-foot frame freaking Bruno, you know, and that's it. And that's how you think when you work for Disney. And I'm pretty sure they're already thinking about that.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be surprised if VeVe has been pretty quiet, and especially when price is low. I love it. It was the same for Zilliqa. I love those companies for one thing most of the time, because as I said, I'm an investor, and the first thing I look is like where my money goes and business plan, and how you really, I mean, how you're going to be in social networks, and if you don't talk too much, but you do something, even if your price is low. Zilliqa did that for 2 years. The price was super low. They were low key. They were not even talking about anything. They had a small Twitter, and they were not bragging, no advertising, nothing, no commercials, nothing at all. And then, boom, there you go. They just dropped everything they've been doing. What I like in the company is because it's not because the price is down that they're not working. And if they're really working right now while the price is down, once they're going to release and they're going to drop, then that's where the game starts. So, and I wouldn't be surprised they're working right now with Disney. I wouldn't be.
Yeah. Somebody made a point that it would most likely, Disney would be out of Apple, Amazon, you know, whoever, it would be Disney, because Disney has the most product on there. And if someone, let's say like Apple or whoever, were to try to buy VeVe, Disney could say like, hey, you know, we don't want to do business with you anymore. And it kind of gives Disney the power to be the only ones to buy if they wanted to in the future. So I thought that was pretty interesting as well. Something that a lot of people have been asking when on, and I haven't, I don't know when. I'm based on the team, you can assume that this is how they got Disney, that they leveraged the Nintendo or Pokemon license in order to get them. I don't think we need them at this point. I love Nintendo. I have Pokemon and Nintendo tattoos all over. What are your thoughts on Nintendo and Pokemon? Do you think that we have them? Do you think that they're not going to get in yet? Are they going to wait to prove themselves? Your opinion on that?
It depends on, you know, I don't know if they've been working on something. Maybe what I think is Nintendo's been very busy working with Universal right now in the parks. They're opening the new park. So I mean, it's been 3 years. They've been working hard. So I'm not even sure they've been working on it. Honestly, they've been very busy. The Nintendo and a whole Universal team's been working so hard. I don't even think they delegated someone to really take time to look at this. Once it's going to open, I think we can eventually think about something. And then you can start talking about Pokemon or even Mario, and that would be adding another one. So Universal, because I really do believe that's why something is off. You know, with VeVe, something is, and that's why I invested. Something is off. Because you're literally working with the 3 main groups or 4 main groups that are sharing agreements between movies. because Marvel was Universal rights in the parks, but Disney has the movies. You've got Nintendo with Universal, and so they had also Harry Potter, but it's all the same groups. I mean, all the way you just only have it, whatever VeVe is doing is the same thing you're seeing already here. Universal, Marvel, Disney, Nintendo, and all that stuff that could come around. It's the same thing that happens here. It's kind of like they already sharing something. They're on board, and there's no conflict. So I don't think there's, and the question was very interesting just earlier. I don't think there's going to be any conflict with the marketplace and just having only Disney or only Marvel, only this or that. I really do believe it's just like already, it's settled. I already think it's an agreement. It's an agreement with VeVe. And so that's where I do believe that the acquisition wouldn't just be Disney. It would be probably multiple groups coming in, and so they could manage their own rights, but they don't have to fight because we all have agreements anyways in between companies, because Disney already has agreements because they have Marvel, but they still have agreements with the Universal, which has already, Nintendo. So there's no conflict. They have Harry Potter. They have everything. So basically, you're just like, it's a win-win. They're working already together. So I don't think there's going to be any conflict with VeVe if they start bringing more. I'm looking forward to seeing if they want to bring more. If we start seeing some drops, right now we're still on superheroes because superheroes are kind of like fancy nowadays. But I'm looking for if we're starting to bring some Harry Potter rights or Pokemon, Nintendo going with Mario. But it makes so much sense to me. It makes so much sense because you got this agreement anyways here. Everybody's working together already. They're in Florida, Orlando. I can see it.
Yeah.
Everybody's working together. Parks not even fighting. There's an event there. They skip the next day and they had the event there. They're not even fighting because there's no fight anyways, because they're sharing rights, because basically it's money and that money just goes round and round and round, and it just goes to the same people. So those people just sharing the same money. Why would you fight? It's not good for the brand. So if they want to
WB.
Yeah, like VeVe. I really do believe, because DC anyways, still we didn't have any conflict. So you gotta, and we don't see any bad feelings, I mean, we can see Disney continue working. I mean, Disney could literally say, no, I mean, like, we're not going on an NFT marketplace right now with DC or whatever. It's not our stuff because we have our Marvels. You never saw that, you never saw any disagreement. You never saw Disney's eventually removing something or dropping. So maybe they control the date when it has to drop. But it's already together. So yeah, and next Pokemon, I don't know because there's Google, and so they still have the rights with the app. So I don't know yet. But Mario, I wouldn't be surprised if we. It depends if they want to stay in its very movie, space, or they want to move also to the.
I mean, you do have the Mario movie coming in December, so maybe we get an announcement for that. Yeah, and like I said, we already have WB, so Harry Potter should be on its way at some point.
I heard something, but I'm not even sure because I didn't confirm. It was something about Sonic, but can't even say anything. But I heard somebody told me like maybe we had a drop about Sonic, but
that'd be great.
I'm just saying with a little smile.
So I have Twitter notifications on for a couple of different people. Yeah. Elon Musk, Dr. Profit, David Yu, Okomi. Dr. Profit, I don't know if you know of him. He's a big OMI whale. And so he just tagged you in a Twitter post saying, let's talk. Yeah, so totally. Maybe I can get him on the podcast, or you could just.
Yeah, I didn't check anyway, so
Yeah.
I guess I'm talking to you.
Whales want to talk. How do you feel about Elon Musk attempting to buy Twitter? Not in a hostile takeover. He made an offer. Like, he's not doing it on the inside. What do you think about that?
I don't know. I mean, I don't have a lot of affection for the person himself. I mean, Elon Musk is not something that's like, I don't know. I have a very hard time with the person. But for the entrepreneur, I mean, it's just good. It's good. So to me, I just do believe that if he's literally making an offer, he's got a reason. Everything he touches turns into gold. All right. He's smart. He does good things. So I do believe that if he made his offer is basically because he just thought about it very deeply, and he's got a team always working on his own acquisitions, and he's always with the best. So I guess it's just a good thing. I don't know, it never makes an investment just like that. There's always something better coming out of it. So I would say if he wants Twitter, he wants Twitter, and it's gonna happen. And Jack left, Elon made an offer. We know we need some change. We know it's been a while. He wanted to take over Twitter. He didn't like some stuff. It's the same thing. He decided to sell PayPal, and then it went for other stuff. And then he had the opportunity to invest with Jack into Square, but it didn't work. So I guess it's kind of like a revenge and being like, okay, you left Twitter, now I'm going for Twitter because you didn't let me in Square. He wanted Square badly because
Square is it still is. So great company.
Walt Disney company behind. So of course, just one more time, Disney's there. So, but I think there's kind of a beef, and it just and that's why he wants Twitter. I don't know how he wants. We got no details. And once, I guess, if he gets the acquisition and he really makes it happen, then I guess we're gonna know what's gonna happen. I think Twitter needs to change. It's been a while. It's just doing the same thing all the time. They've been trying these space things. They've been trying the stories like Instagram and Facebook. It doesn't work. And then they recycle some stuff that already exists, And
able to have NFTs as a profile picture, which is cool.
It's cool, but I was like, it's just the same thing for now. It's just like nothing major. So I really do think they need to bring something major to take Twitter to the next level. It's kind of like old now. And I'm like, okay, we're in 2022. We are now full crypto, Web3. Facebook evolves, now Meta, Instagram taking over. I think Twitter needs to also change and not just being this company who's having also that very bad reputation to be the trash network, because most of the haters on Twitter, and even Twitter, if you know how to use it, it's nice, but they still have this very bad reputation anyways about trash network anyways, where all these trolls are, haters, and all this shit. So that's why. So it could be a really good thing. He's smart, he's got the money, so he can change everything. So
do you know Jeremiah Aouyang? Is a buddy of mine, follow each other on Twitter. He's a CMO of Rally, and he just posted that if Elon buys Twitter and he wants to end the advertising product, basically Twitter is home of press and media, and because Tesla does not do ads, and BMW and Mercedes and Toyota, they do ads, it'll help Tesla maintain the lead as far as cars. So it could just be like, spend this much for Tesla, and if full self-driving is solved in the next 5 or 7 years.
He's smart, but he wouldn't do it anyways. It would go against his principles anyways, because he's always been for competition. So and he knows DQS is coming. He knows, of course, so he doesn't want Mercedes or the others to advertise, because of course it's a threat. You look at the EQS. I definitely want an EQS and not a Tesla.
Really?
If I were to go electric, because I'm not electric, I like my big truck. I wanted I want to use gas. I want the sound. It's important,
We'll race. I'm getting a Cybertruck next year. It's supposed to be this year, but they delayed it. So we'll have a race in Florida. It'll be fun.
I really don't think they're gonna. It's going to end the whole advertising system. No, I think it's for a good thing. If he really does it, I think he's got some very good plans, and it might be very interesting to see how it goes. It needs changes, as I said. Twitter can't stay that way. It's too old now. It's really too old. It's still the same thing. Okay, we can keep the characters, the number of characters, tagging and everything. It's fine. The hashtag is amazing. Okay, cool. But you need to bring something more. Like now, it's not changing your avatar or your NFT. What's the point? It's not a feature, Bring something. There's Meta coming around, and it's like literally going hard.
I got to represent the Fish fam. There's a NFT project called Fish. I don't know if you heard of it. The guy Brock McBlockchain, who I had on the podcast a little while ago, he's CEO of it, and it's really cool. The lore is like Stranger Things like, and it's awesome. Like you just get like fish, and they're called Fish, and you get tanks, and they can go to other tanks, and other fish can come to your tank. So
yeah.
it's really cool.
Yeah, that's interesting. As I said, I need to get into NFT a little bit more. This afternoon is going to be pretty interesting for me because this is going to be really my first time into getting into NFT and seeing how it really works. The same way, like as I said, I mean, I tweeted because I always tweet my investments. I'm always very transparent. So and I do it for my community. So basically, when I tweeted on Twitter, I mean, I didn't even know more about the OMI or VeVe community, you know. So even you would tell me some names and stuff, I mean, I really don't know much, you know. So I'm gonna get to know them now because I mean, my Twitter blew up. So and I always kept my Twitter now low profile, you know, just having it for my community because I had a previous account a few years ago. But I'm a little bit too outspoken. So when I say things unfiltered, and Twitter didn't like it. So basically, I lost a 100+ K account. They banned me. So
I'll
to be banned,
tag you in a
to be banned than to being shut out. You know, enough. So that's how it works.
Yeah, I'll tag you in a fiche fiche post. I guess wow, it just gives he gives things, does airdrops all the time. So I'm gonna go and watch the Lex Friedman interview that he just did with Michael Saylor that just premiered. I'll be interesting with that. I know you have a busy afternoon. So we're gonna bounce. Thank you for coming on. Can I just get you on for like 30 seconds after the call, just to talk
no problem.
All right, everyone, say bye-bye, everybody.
Thank you, everyone, for listening, and see you soon. Probably
Bye.